Hello again. Welcome to a new class, class 866. Good morning. It's very early. It's 7 o'clock in the morning. It's very early, but learning English doesn't require any specific time of the day or night. Any time of the day or any time of the night, for me, is a valid moment, is a perfect moment to continue improving your English. So why not 7 o'clock in the morning? It's before you go to work. You get up early, turn on the TV. Yeah, it's really early. But there I am. Good morning and welcome to a new program. Yes, program 866. Every day is an endless chain. Cada día es una cadena interminable. Every day is an endless chain of English classes with me. Aren't you getting tired of me? Marta, ¿te estás cansando de mí? She's not getting tired of me. Are you? Are you getting tired of me? You're watching me get older. You can go to YouTube and put R2 a la Carta Vaughan, and you can go back and look at program number 1 in 2019, creo 2019, and then program 866. Richard is getting older. Yeah, he has bags under his eyes. He's but it doesn't matter. I'm here to teach you English, not to talk about philosophy, but maybe in future classes I will start talking about philosophy or about my life or about the lives of new people. Marta wants me to create a new universe. Nuevo universo de personajes, like Philip Johnson, Nancy Johnson, Nigel Perkins, Lee Tong, Akimorita, or Luigi Barghini, Anna Barghini, Paula Eisenbach, or Natasha Zarakovich. Do you remember? Okay, and more. Inés Garcia, La Sevillana. Yes, sir. And Philippe or Francois Monet and his uncle, Philippe Monet? No, I can't remember his name. I'm forgetting. I'll create a new universe of people. All right, maybe. Me da pereza. I'm not, I'm not sure if I feel like it. But ante el reto, with the challenge. Un reto. She challenged me. You can do it. I don't know if I feel like it. Estoy por la labor. I'm not so sure, Marta. Okay, vocabulary. La viuda negra. Vocabulary. Page 189. In the middle. Flaco. Skinny. Skin is piel. O sea, pieloso. Skinny. Doble N-Y. Skinny. Thin is delgado. Thin. Pero también delgado como a thin book. Es un libro delgado, no grueso. Thin. Thick and thin. Thick es grueso, pero también es espeso. Entonces, poco espeso y muy líquido también se dice thin. Thick soup, que es como una crema de no sé qué. Crema de calabacín. It's thick. Cuando es muy líquido, it's very thin. But thin also is delgado. I'm not thin. I'm not fat. I'm okay, I can see. Yeah, I'm okay. I'm not fat and I'm not thin. Now, thin normally is bastante delgado. Slim is esbelto. Wow, it's perfect. Slim is the perfect figure. Slim. Now, skinny is flaco. Skinny. When I was a little kid, I was very skinny. And I was hyperactive. And my mother was worried because I never ate. I was too busy climbing on the furniture or things. And my mother spoke, her father-in-law, my grandfather, was a doctor, a general practitioner, médico de pueblo, a general practitioner, a family doctor. And my mother said to her father-in-law Doc. Doc is doctor, but everybody called him Doc. Hello, Doc. He said, Doc, don't you think Ricky needs to eat more? Ricky, that's me, eh? Don't you think Ricky needs to eat more? He never eats. And my grandfather, with his glasses, he looks fine to me. With a ojo clínico, my grandfather saw that I had complete energy. And if you're not eating, you don't have energy. So he saw, and he said, children will eat when they are hungry. When they're not hungry, they won't. When I came to Spain, when I came to Spain permanently in 1974, my first job was only 3 weeks. My second job was in La Central Nuclear de Zorita. And for the first 4 months, I lived in Almonacid, pueblo al lado de La Central. Almonacid, a very small village near the plant, the nuclear plant. The second 5 months, the next 5 months, I lived in the residence of the nuclear plant. And there was a swimming pool. And after my classes, I spent time in the swimming pool, and there were a lot of young wives, jóvenes esposas, with little children. And they were constantly, and babies, trying to feed babies. And they had little, no sé qué, I don't know what to call them, to encourage the appetite, para animar el apetito, abrir más apetito. Yeah. And I said, why? To make them eat more. Okay. Little children never die of hunger if there is food available. They never. And if you want your children to eat vegetables and fruit, and not only chocolates and candies, well, you just leave vegetable and fruit available. And when the child becomes really, really hungry, the child will start eating broccoli, asparagus, spinach. They'll start eating and develop an appetite for it. People here worry too much about, mi niño no me comes, don't worry. No child has died of hunger if there's food available. And they grow up strong and healthy. Flaco, skinny, skinny, skinny. Estereotipo, stereotype. The stereotype of the typical American. ¿Soy el estereotipo del americano típico? She doesn't know. Am I the typical American? Most people who don't know me think I'm British. And many people are surprised, even today, after so many years living in Spain and so many years on radio and television, many people, usted no es inglés, yo pensaba que usted era inglés. Why? Porque le entiendo cuando habla. You understand me, and you think English people or British people are easier to understand than Americans? No, it's the opposite. In general, with exceptions, Americans are easier to understand than British. All right? In general. There are exceptions, but not too many. So I'm the typical American. My mentality is typically American. So I am the American stereotype. Stereotype. The next one, tierno, tender. Tender has two meanings, curioso. Tender means tierno, and tender also es una licitación, o sea, la oferta en un concurso de licitación. A tender. But tender, of course, means tierno. Love me tender, love me true. You remember Elvis Presley? Love me tender, love me true, never let me go. You remember the song? Está mal en inglés. He says, love me tender, love me true. That's bad English. Está usando adjetivo en vez de adverbio. He's using an adjective. It should be, ámame tiernamente, no ámame tierno. Pero, entonces no hay licencia. Aquí hay licencia poética. Love me tenderly, love me truly. Y no sale. Love me tender, love me true. No, no me sueltes jamás. Never let me go. It's very romantic, eh? All right. Tender, 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 tenderness. También carne tierna, tender meat. Tough is diferente, está muy duro. It's very tough or very tender. A solomillo, a filet mignon is very tender. Certain other cuts, cortes, are less tender and can be tough. All right, tender, tender. Apretado, tight, 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 tight. It's tight. I can't speak. It's too tight. Loose, tight. GHT, tight. Significa que los escoceses son muy agarrados. See, the Scottish are very tight. My experience is not this. I haven't seen that, but I haven't spent enough time in Scotland. I've spent probably, in all, I've been to Scotland 4 times, I think. Yeah, 4 times. Each time for maybe, I've probably spent 3 net weeks. Or 4, maybe 1 net month in Scotland. And I didn't notice that they were tight, tight. Apretado, prieto, tight, loose, tight and loose. Exigir, to call for. To call for. Phrasal verb, to call for. To call for. To demand. I demand more money for this job. Exijo más dinero, que me paguen mejor. I demand more money. Call for no es lo mismo, pero sí es exigir. Yeah. Ser buen profesor de inglés exige energía. Okay. Eso no es una exigencia. Energía. You know, we don't say to be a good English teacher demands energy. Es un poco fuerte. Calls for. Aquí exigir es menos exigente. Es menos demandante. O sea, ser buen profesor exige energía, exige mano derecha y mano izquierda. It calls for. O sea, requiere un poco, exige. It calls for. Being a good English teacher calls for the desire to teach well. A strong desire to do your best. It calls for phrasal verbs. Yesterday I had lunch with 2 brothers, both very important in the Spanish economy. And one of them says, I spend 20 or 30 minutes a day with the book from your company, Richard, about phrasal verbs. And I said, tira ese libro por la ventana. Throw it away. Throw that book out the window. Phrasal verbs, don't study phrasal verbs. Expose your ear to phrasal verbs. Phrasal verbs are only for understanding, not for using. And the only exceptions are look at, look for, get up, sit down, pick up, put on, ponerse prendas de vestir. Take off, despegar un avión y quitarse prendas de vestir. Take off. Y 10 más. Los 200 más. You will never learn to use them correctly and spontaneously. Y luego me dicen, ¿y quién se cree que es? Se lo cree él. No. I've been observing non-native people using English for 50 years. And I have never met a non-native who uses phrasal verbs correctly. Except non-natives who have spent 20 years in England or America, or whose mother is American or British, or whose father is American or British, but they grow up in Spain. That, yes. If you don't grow up with the English language, you will never learn, or you don't spend 20 years in the country, you will never master the oral reproduction with agility of phrasal verbs. Never. Except the basic ones. Look at, look for, take care, get up, sit down, come in, go out. Those, yes. I recommend you try. But the rest, no. To call for, exige. Ser buen profesor de inglés exige energía. To be a good English teacher calls for energy. Perfect English. Pero también, you can say, to be a good teacher, you need energy. No hay que ir a recurrir a call for. Lo puedes evitar cada vez que quieras. To be a good teacher demands. Un poco más fuerte, pero it's perfect. Demands energy. Requires. To be a good English teacher requires energy. Fantastic. Suena incluso mejor que call for. Requires, etc. Okay, exigir is to call for. Sobresalir, destacar, to excel. Oh. Marta excele en su labor de fotógrafa. Claro, no existe el verbo exceler, pero sí existe excelente. En inglés, excelente es un producto de un verbo que se llama exceler, to excel. To excel means to be excellent. You excel. Now, destacar, sobresalir, también. El lápiz, the purple pencil stands out. Eso es Pau Gasol en la muchedumbre. The purple pencil stands out. O sea, destaca, sobresale. But that's physical, stands out. No es que él sea más excelente que estos. Okay. Well, in basketball, yes, but not in the rest. So that's to stand out. Phrasal verb, okay? But to excel means es ser excelente en lo que haces, to excel. She excels in photography. I excel in teaching. We both excel. Yeah, tenemos algo en común. We both excel in something. Do you excel in something? ¿Destacas en algo? ¿Sobresales en algo? All right. Parecerse a, to look like. Yes. I don't look like Marta and she doesn't look like me. And no, I don't look like you and you don't look like me. We don't look alike. Twins, identical twins, que son gemelos, no mellizos, identical twins look alike. One looks like the other and the other looks like the one. So they look like each other. Yes. To look like. Yes. Yes. This doesn't look like an expensive bookmarker. It looks like a cheap bookmarker. Yeah. It doesn't look like. Now this looks like a normal pencil. It doesn't look like a special expensive pencil. And this, what does this look like? Well, it looks like a pen. Maybe it looks like a pen, but really it's a plane flying. All right, to look like. Do I look American or do I look English? Most people say I look English. American English son adjetivos, por eso no inserto like. Si dijera un hombre inglés, un hombre americano, do I look like an American man or do I look like a British man? In this case, man is a noun. So we say look like. You look tired. You look like a tired person. Yes. This table looks clean. This table looks clean. It looks like a clean table. It looks like a clean table. All right, to look like. Negarse a, refuse. Negarse a, refuse. Me niego a seguir aquí. I refuse to continue. I refuse. Me niego a extender este programa más allá de 26 minutos. I refuse to prolong or to extend this program beyond 26 minutes. I refuse. No. No es no. I refuse Claro, refuse también es rechazar o rehusar. Pero se usa mucho en negarse. Me niego a hacer eso. No, ni soñando. I refuse to do it. Refuse, destacar, sobresalir otra vez. That's interesting. To stand out, el otro. To stand out, like Pau Gasol. To stand out. To stand out. Andar de puntillas. To tiptoe. Y es un verbo. O sea, puntillear. To tiptoe. Tiptoe, andar de puntillas por los tulipanes. Tiptoe through the tulips, and I don't remember the rest of the words, but tiptoe through the tulips with me. Sí, vamos de puntillas, junto tú y yo, por los tulipanes. Tiptoe through the tulips. Tip es la punta, toe es dedo del pie, o sea, la punta de los dedos del pie. To tiptoe. Yes. I always walked on the balls of my feet. I never walked flat-footed. To tiptoe. Tiptoe. Tramposo, tricky. Bueno, tricky es tramposo. Yes, es una persona tramposa. He's a tricky person. Be careful. But we use it in many, many ways. Tricky. Tricky, especially if you ask me for directions. For example, I am in the Plaza Mayor in Madrid, and Marta asks me directions, and she says, I want to go to the Cava Baja. I said, well, wait, it's a little tricky. O sea, es un poco la ruta es un poco tramposa, ten cuidado. It's a little tricky. Se usa mucho cuando es una ruta. It's a little bit tricky. Trick. All right, to play a trick on somebody is gastarle una broma a alguien. Broma pesada. To play a trick. To play a joke. También, to play a joke on somebody es hacerle una broma. Gastarle una broma, to play a joke. To play a trick es un poco más tramposo todavía. To play a trick on somebody. You played a trick on me. Lo de haré lo que pude. ¿Te acuerdas? Dice, no, haré lo que pude, imposible. Yo gané un hotel. I won a hotel. You remember? Yeah. I was in Alarcón. Alarcón is a beautiful, very, very interesting town. Very small town. Equidistant between Madrid and Valencia. All right, provincia de Cuenca, I think. Ciudad Real? No. Albacete? No. Cuenca, I think. And I was in a hotel. And I had dinner with the owner of the hotel and his wife. And it was a fun dinner. We were having fun, telling jokes. And I said, is it correct to say haré lo que pude? He said, no, that's impossible. Hice lo que pude. O haré lo que pueda. No, pero haré lo que pude también, no. No, impossible. And the wife said, impossible. Bueno, apostamos una cena. Y ella dice, yo apuesto el hotel. And then I said, pues haré lo que pude ayer. Me cansé de arar, de tanto arar el campo. Pero hombre, haré todo lo que pude ayer. She said, oh my God. And the husband said, darling, es del verbo arar. Sí, Nachi. So I won a hotel. Of course, I didn't collect. I mean, it was a joke. But I played a trick on them. I played a trick, a Spanish grammatical trick on my friends in the hotel. Trick. And finally, prudente, juicioso, sabio. Wow. Wise. Wise is sabio. Muy bien. Una persona sabia. A wise person. Los tres reyes magos, the three wise men. The three kings. The wise men. A wise man or wise woman. Nunca se dice mujer sabia, curiosamente. Una sabia. Yeah, well, what would you call un sabio que es mujer? Una sabia. Yeah. Have you ever heard una sabia? I've never heard it. Yes. Me encontré con un sabio. Iba por la bosque y había un sabio ahí. Una sabia? What's that? Sabia con V, yes, sabia del árbol. But it's interesting. Wise. Now, we use wise also for decisiones bien pensadas y bien aplicadas. A wise decision. Ha sido una decisión prudente y sensata. Muy bien pensada. Correcta en mi opinión. A wise decision. Se usa wise ahí. También se dice, no es muy prudente en esta época del año. It's not very wise to invertir en la bolsa argelina. It's not very wise. That's not a wise decision. It's not a wise thing to do. Yes, wise. All right. We have finished. Another list. Slowly but surely, someday. Se hace rogar, la verdad. Okay, come on, finish. Where am I? Gain fluency. Gain fluency. Page 27. Wow, we still have a long way to go. I'll come back tomorrow with page 27. ¿Qué te parece? How about that? See you tomorrow.